Many of you may know me as Demi, the girl who put books over boys, t-shirts over miniskirts, and essential oil meditation classes over high school house parties. Yep, that's definitely Demi. You see, when I was growing up, I tried to be perfect all the time. In my family, your grades were everything. Being smart was cool, and cool in the sense of being popular was anything but. So when I was in high school, I thought that being the nice girl was cool. A few years into college, I dropped my goody two-shoes image. Considering that I was in a new city with new people and no one having any idea who I was back in San Diego, I decided to become my shadow self, aka Bad Demi. Bad Demi liked to skip class with her best friend and day drink in the school parking lot. Bad Demi wore miniskirts and tube tops and never missed a fraternity party. You see, human beings are very funny. We spend a lot of our time being furious at other people for being our shadow self, accusing others of qualities that we subconsciously really wish we had, or already have, but don't like that we have them. My point being, your shadow self, whether it's the cool kid, the talkative one, or the funny one, could very well be the you that you've always wanted to be. Sadly, you've learned growing up that you had to be a certain way to receive love or attention. Before I knew what projection was, I used to hate the cool kids for being cool. Turns out I just wanted to be cool all along. A word of advice: next time you want to call someone on their BS, call yourself out first. Welcome to my first reaction video. I'm going to be reacting to people's spiritual videos on YouTube, and I'm so excited. This has been a long time coming. I'm here to reveal the truth because there is a lot of BS out there. Nothing really gets past me. I have a sixth sense. I know a lot of you guys do too. You guys all have an intuition. We all do. And I'm going to use my intuition to tell you guys what's good and what's not so good about some of these videos. So let's get into it. So this video is from Stargirl, the Practical Witch, and this video is called Beginner Love Spell, Get Your Crush to Want You. Okay, I'm already so excited to watch this, so let's just get into it.
Hey, it's Stargirl. Today we're going to do a simple love and attraction spell with ingredients you probably have laying around your house. This is really good if you have someone specific in mind and you want them to notice you, text you, or give you time of day. Now this will only give them that push to talk to you and start noticing you. This will not make them fall in love with you. That's up to you. You shouldn't try to make anyone fall in love with you. But at least this spell will give you the chance to charm whoever it is you have in mind. I actually thought about it because when I was in middle school, I had this huge crush on this one guy. We'll call him Bob, but he was really popular and I was the weird kid, so he didn't give me time of day, so I went on Ask Jeeves, because when I was younger, Ask Jeeves was Google, and I typed in love spell, and I came upon this spell that used an apple. So pretty much what I did was I cut this apple in half, carved his name into it, and buried it into the ground. And I wondered why this guy didn't like me. I actually don't remember if it worked or not. I'm gonna stop right there. Okay, my mind is racing. Let's see if I remember some of this stuff. So like I said, I'm gonna keep it real and I'm gonna be honest. I am not a fan of witchcraft, I'm not a fan of Wicca, and I'm not a fan of casting spells. I don't care that it's Tumblr, I don't care that it's Harry Potter, and it's trendy, and it's cool. I don't care that there's candles and incense and any of that. Because for those of you that may not realize, the vibration and the frequency of Wicca and witchcraft and these kinds of spells is very low. And it's just really not the best route to go if you're trying to get someone to notice you, if you're trying to get your crush to notice you. First of all, for anyone who's young, for anyone who's in middle school, high school, if you really think about it, these kinds of things, it's normal. It's normal to have a crush. I could give you a laundry list of crushes that I had when I was younger. But, I can tell you that casting a spell on someone is pretty much a curse on somebody, and I know that is an extreme accusation to make, but
when you place a spell on somebody, you're using your own human mind, your own human ego, your own human will upon someone else. You're not relying on, the law of attraction. You're not relying on these really high vibration, frequencies like faith and belief and hope, and just relying on that you're going to find someone when the time is meant for that. And so I'm not really a huge fan of Wicca and witchcraft, and I know there's a lot of people that are probably hating me at this point for saying that, but hey, you know what, it's pretty dark, and I have yet to come across a spell that is not dark. So let's keep going.
Assume it probably didn't, but I modified the spell to make it effective, so I'm going to show you guys how to do it. All you're going to need is a container to put all your ingredients in. It doesn't have to be a mason jar. It can literally be a box or whatever you want, as long as it holds ingredients. You're going to need a red apple, some cinnamon, agave or honey, a picture of the person you want to notice you. No, not a hand drawing. I'm just using it as an example. You want a real picture of them. Everyone has social media nowadays. I'm sure you can find a picture online and print it out. I have some people that ask me if this works on celebrities. How is it going to work if they never met you and you never met them and you will never meet them? I mean, reach for the stars, but in my experience, that does not work on famous people. Then you're going to need a pen and a piece of paper to write on. That's it. Let's get started on the spell. So I'm just going to open my little
Okay, so just a few things before she gets into the actual spell. Among other things that I don't like about witchcraft and spells, what she's showing you basically is a very ritualistic, step-oriented, detail-oriented way to get a crush to notice you. And let me tell you guys something. All these steps, all these very, regimented things of doing something the right way at the right time when it's, under this exact certain circumstances, it really doesn't matter. That kind of stuff is just very low vibration, very low frequency, and at the end of the day, when you're trying to get someone to notice you, when you're trying to get your crush to notice you, all you really have to do is raise your own vibration and, do things that make you feel good. Like buying yourself flowers every day and doing things that make you happy and going outside and working out and hanging out with your friends. If you want someone to like you, if you want someone to notice you, you gotta like yourself. You gotta love yourself. You would have to want to date you if you were someone else. And I know that sounds really cheesy and cliche, but you guys have been here. I've been in this situation. I've been 13, 14. 13-ish is when I started to get into spirituality. And I remember my first crush, and I remember thinking to myself, gosh darn, how do I get, let's call him Billy. How do I get Billy, to notice me? And what I learned is that you don't need to do stuff like this. This stuff is quite literally placing a curse on somebody and putting them in a reality in which they have to notice you, and a reality where you're imposing yourself onto them, as opposed to, maybe sending out a prayer. If you're into praying, sending out a prayer that, okay, I would love to meet someone, I would love to meet, someone that I could date, as long as it's for my highest and best good of everybody involved, and you're not getting into the nitty-gritty details of how that's going to work. You're not, imposing yourself on someone else.
Container here so I can put stuff into it. Then I'm going to take my apple and cut it straight down the middle this way. Ooh, I didn't take the sticker off. So you're going to cut it straight down the middle, not like this. You want to cut it like this. You see how there's a star in the middle? That's exactly what you want, because that is the star of creation, and it happens naturally in nature. That is why we're using a red apple. Red for love and passion, and inside there's that natural star of creation. Once you find this little star in your apple, you're going to cut it into a thinner slice. I cut it like this because I want it to fit into the bottom of my mason jar. However, if you have a bigger container, you might not have to do that. If you had to cut off the skin to get it to fit, I like to pop the skin in there because that is what color we want to use for the spell, the nice pretty red for the love and attraction. But make sure it doesn't cover the star of creation. After that, you're going to take a little tiny drop of your blood and drop it onto the star in the middle of the apple. You do not need a lot of blood, which I expressed in my last video, how to do blood magic. You just need the tiniest little bit. Honestly, if you have a zit and you popped your zit and you want to rub it with a Q-tip and then rub it on the star, that's fine too. Before putting in the star...
Okay, yikes. Okay, so... where do I start? Alright. So, disclaimer, I am not a doctor. I have enough common sense to tell you guys that blood magic is not only unsafe, it's unsanitary, and it's just gross. And, like, you don't have to be a dermatologist to tell you that popping your own zits, first of all, is not good for you. Your blood is you. Your blood is your consciousness. Let me repeat that. Your blood is your consciousness. Your blood is it's who you are as a soul, as a person who came down to earth to experience this life. So your blood is you. So the fact that she's using her own blood to cast a spell on someone is quite literally using her consciousness, her DNA, her human self, and imposing it on someone else and possibly disrupting their life path, disrupting their soul path, you know, just totally messing up their life. And that's just not cool. Like, you guys, like, spells like this, they don't rely on our intuition. They don't rely on faith and love and just belief that we will always receive what's meant for us. And yes, we can send out prayers for what it is we want, but at the end of the day, we don't try to nitpick and do these regimented steps to try to, you know, get things that have to do with a specific person. Because at the end of the day, someone's either meant to be in your life or they're not. So when it comes to casting a spell to get someone to like you, it's just not cool. And especially using your own blood it's just not safe. So please, if you're into blood magic, please stop. It's really not safe.
Creation, you could have put the blood on it before you put it in the jar. It really doesn't matter what order. Just make sure that the blood is on the star of creation on your apple. For example purposes, I'm just going to use a red pen. As you can see, my blood is on star of creation on top of the apple. Please be safe and sanitary while doing this. If you want to use menstrual blood, that's okay. So once we have our apple, the blood, we're going to pour in the honey or agave. And you just want to put it right on top of that star of creation and sort of just coat the bottom. That's how it looks so far. I think it's good to know the reason why we use certain ingredients because it helps you visualize what you want. It also helps you understand why the spell works, and when you understand why the spell works, it is more likely for it to happen. If you're just putting in all of these ingredients and you're not sure why, then the symbolism of all of these ingredients goes out the window and the whole spell is pointless. So we add the honey because it's sweet and it attracts things, it's nectar. We put your blood on top of the star of creation because your DNA, your will, is activating the star of creation, which creates things into the universe. We're going to sprinkle some cinnamon on top. Don't be concerned with measuring things out. It's just a simple spell. Just wing it. Use as much as you feel is necessary. It's almost like we're baking an apple pie.
I love how she, like, starts out by, like, don't cut the apple that way, you have to cut it this way. But it just, like, wing the other stuff. It's just a simple spell where I curse you. Anyways, let's keep going.
The reason we use cinnamon is to attract lust, sexual attraction. After that, you're going to pop a nice real picture of your crush into the jar, just like that. Now it's time to write your intention, which you will be slipping into the jar, so make sure the piece of paper isn't too big. Let's say you want them to text you. You would write their name, text me, because they can't stop thinking of me. Just like that, except the blank is where their name would be. You write it in present tense because spells do not understand the human construct of time. And spells are a lot like the law of attraction. You want to act like you already have it to make your spell more powerful. Therefore, always write your intentions in present tense. Like I always say, spells are focusing your energy onto a chosen intention, and your intention should always be in present tense. You can also write something like, their name cannot get me out of their mind. Whatever it is you want, as long as it's written in present tense. Don't get too wrapped up on exactly what to say. Write whatever it is you want your crush to do. As long as it's in present tense, it will work. Then you're going to roll up the piece of paper and stick it into your container. Now we're going to seal our container. If you want to decorate your...
Okay, I have to stop there. Whew, where do I start? Alright, I am going to tell the truth, and in order to do that, I just have to call it like it is. And so basically the symbolism of this spell is the star on the apple is the person you have a crush on, and by using your blood and putting it on the star, you are literally like putting yourself into that person. Obviously, she's not going to ask this dude like, hey, can I cast a spell on you? You're imposing your own human will and what you want onto someone else, and that might not even be what's for everyone's highest and best good. That might not be what's best. And just for the record, spells are not like the law of attraction. Spells are actually the opposite of the law of attraction, because what the law of attraction relies on is our intuition. The law of attraction relies on the deepest, most whole, most fulfilled, most heartfelt, most truthful piece of us that just knows what's good for us and what doesn't resonate with us. And the law of attraction would know whether or not someone is supposed to be in your life or not. And what a spell does is it forces your own human ego and your own human will onto someone else, and that's just not cool. And just for the record, you guys, like, not only is a spell just like really creepy, and it's just not fair to cast a spell on someone, first of all, without their consent. It's also just really unnecessary. Like, you don't need cinnamon, you don't need agave or honey, you don't need a red apple to manifest things in your life. Like, this is all just super unnecessary.
Box with symbols that represent love and attraction, that is good too, because symbols have a lot of energetic power. For example, I drew a heart. Now you can also draw sigils on your container, which will attract love.
I love how she's just like, after I cast a spell on you and quite possibly like ruin your life, let me just like draw some cute hearts on the box or the jar.
If you don't know how to write a sigil, I have a video on it on my YouTube channel. It's called How to Manifest Anything with Sigil Magic. Once you have your completed jar, you're just going to go outside at night under a new moon and bury it under the dirt. The reason why you want to do it during a new moon, it's because as the moon grows, so will your seed, so will your intention, so will their attraction for you. And you want to bury it under the dirt because you want to pretend this is your seed, this is your intention. And when you're burying it into the dirt, you're wanting it to grow into life. And then if you don't want to waste an apple and you want to eat the rest, you can most certainly do that as well. I hope you guys enjoyed my love and attraction spell. Please let me know how it works for you, and I will see you later.
So, like, the redeeming part about this video is the fact that she has half an apple left over that she can just eat. So that's like, if there's one good thing about this video, I would find it's you get half an apple out of it at the end. Kidding. Okay. Oh, you guys. Listen, I know a lot of you are young. I know a lot of you are in middle and high school, and I know y'all got crushes. I had so many crushes when I was your age, but you guys, going down this route is just not gonna take you to where you want to go. Casting spells like this and using this kind of magic is very dark. And like I said before, I have yet to see an actual witchcraft Wicca spell that is a high vibration, that is for the highest and best interest of every single person involved. And at the end of the day, we have an intuition inside of us that can manifest anything that we could possibly dream of. And there's things that we may think that we want, but you know what? The universe might show us that we actually deserve something better. So maybe you got a crush on Bob, but Bob really isn't for your highest and best good. So the universe brings you somebody better. That's more what the law of attraction is. This is cursing someone, imposing your literal human DNA, your human consciousness onto that person, trapping them because she buried them in the dirt. So there's a piece of that person that is buried somewhere. And also, like, this whole new moon stuff, like, you guys, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for saying this, but I don't care. You're only affected by the new moon, by astrology, by any of that stuff when you're in the old earth. And we're in a new earth now. We're on an earth, we're at a place on our planet where we have unlimited manifestation abilities. We can manifest anything we want. We can create anything we want, which is why a lot of people right now are creating destruction in their lives, creating toxicity, you know, all this chaos, because people are meant to create. Our thoughts are creations. That's why a lot of what we think and what we believe manifests into our life. The whole message of this is totally wrong. If you have a crush on someone, if you want to get them to notice you, like, celebrate yourself, love yourself, like yourself, do things that make you feel good based on, you know, the law of attraction. You will attract someone in your life. You don't need to be casting spells on them. And you definitely don't need to be burying them in the dirt on a new moon, because all that, like I said, the new moon, astrology, all that stuff only affects you when you're down in the old earth. So I know that was a lot to take in. Thank you guys for tuning into my first reaction video. I hope you enjoyed it. And comment below what you think I should react to next.